Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, rolling out hour number 3, baby. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. Still a lot to get to here in hour number 3. We got this Kobe Bryant situation going on with these photos, death photos of Kobe and others that were literally, killed and burned after that crash. And guess what? It involves I almost said Las Vegas. Thank God it doesn't. The L.A. PD. Big scandal. We'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. Kanye West, for some reason, he wanted to push out a transgender from performing in France so that he could do some sort of prayer service. That's right. Kind of a controversy. We'll get to that with Kanye. Kanye in controversy. What a shocker. This Astros fan, or I should say not a fan anymore, but a fan was heckling the Astros in spring training. You're not going to believe what one of the players said back to the heckling fan. It's ridiculous. And then we have hate mail coming up here to end the show, as we always do. But I want to start with this, continuing the political conversation. We've been talking a lot about Joe Biden. We just had Jim Marchant in studio, right, by the way, who's running District 4. I got to say, very nice man. He has a few ridiculous opinions, as far as what I think. No, I don't think if you disagree with someone's policies, you're evil. I think that's ridiculous. And I also do not believe that every single person in this country that's gay was a choice. Yeah, maybe tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm attracted to men now. Yeah, that's it. I'm attracted to short men that are producers on radio stations. Jason Stein, I'm sexually attracted to you. No, that's not going to happen unless there's a large payment involved, like, millions of dollars. But I don't think Stein has that kind of money. No, in all seriousness, really, does anybody think Richard Simmons was a choice, that he was born straight? I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I wouldn't call Jim evil for thinking those things. I completely disagree with him. I think it's ridiculous. But I'm not going to call Jim evil because he seems like a very nice man. And I appreciate him coming in and giving his opinions. I think some of his opinions are a little insane, but I'm not going to call him evil. Like I said, evil are the murderers, the rapists, the priests that have molested children. Those are the evil people in the world. That's not going to help bring people together when we call people that we disagree with evil. Now, some people are racist. Some people are horrible people and they say horrible things. That's fine. But when you disagree with policy, I would never call that evil. I think that was the biggest problem I had with Jim's 90-minute appearance. But anyway, I want to move on, and I want to talk about Amy Klobuchar.
Oh, you don't think Bernie Sanders is evil, Brian?
No, absolutely not. I disagree with a lot of. Why would I call Bernie? He's been a civil rights activist for most of his life. I think he's a good man.
He's definitely counterproductive to my views in the direction I'd like to go in my life, and I think is necessary for the
so what? I wouldn't
standard
call him
life.
Evil.
But again, that doesn't mean he's evil.
No, of course not.
Yeah. That's a term that's thrown around a bit too often, I think.
Well, listen, I think Jim made a mistake. It would have been nice if he could have retracted that. He decided not to. He doubled down on it, and then we'll let the voters decide who you're going to vote for. All due respect to Jim, I would never support anybody who thinks that all gay people, it's a choice. I wouldn't support anybody who would call Democrats evil. Now, he said some, and then when he was pressed on that and he was asked who specifically, he said he didn't want to mention them. I think that's cowardly. Okay, that's bone spurs cowardly. That's what that is. And then when asked specifically, I asked him, okay, well, what made them evil? He disagreed with their policy. I'm sorry, that's insane. That's ridiculous. Again, nice man. I appreciate him taking some time to join us. He's not going to win. I'm telling you right now, he has no chance. He's not going to win. His seat was taken up by a Democrat. He didn't pass anything in the legislature. He's not going to win. Nice man. He's not going to win. I'd rather hang out with Jim Marchant than hang out with many other people many other Republicans that I've spoken to in the past. Let me put it that way. Jim seems like a nice guy. I would sit and have a beer with Jim, and we can talk about anything else other than politics. I'm sure we'd have a great conversation. But, we just disagree on a lot of things. He's not evil. I'll tell you someone else who's not evil, and that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not evil. He's a decent man. You can disagree with his politics. He's had some gaffes. But now he's received endorsements from both Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete. I want to start with Amy Klobuchar because I criticized her after Pete Buttigieg decided to not run for presidency or to drop his presidency, his campaign. I said, come on, Klobuchar, get your comb and your salad and get the hell out of the race. Well, guess what? She might have listened to me. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she was listening to the Vegas Take because literally hours later, she announced that she is going to be dropping out of the presidential race. Good for her. She did the right thing. I have a lot more respect for her because she did the right thing. So here's Amy Klobuchar making the announcement and endorsing Joe Biden. Do we have that cut?
Texans, we need to unite our party and our country. And to do it, not just with our words, but with our actions. It is up to us, all of us, to put our country back together, to heal this country, and then to build something even greater. I believe we can do this together. And that is why today I am ending my campaign and endorsing Joe Biden for president.
All right, there you go. She's endorsing Joe Biden. By the way, there was no chance she was going to endorse Bernie Sanders. That just was never going to happen. By the way, same thing with Pete Buttigieg. He made the announcement as well. And by the way, Joe Biden said something very interesting about Mayor Pete between the two of them, which I think is very important to note. And that is with all the debates they've had and all the interviews they've done, they've never said anything, personal or negative about one another. I respect that. I like that. I like that about Mayor Pete. I like that about Joe Biden. So here is Mayor Pete endorsing the vice president. Here it goes.
When I ran for president, we made it clear that the whole idea was about rallying the country together to defeat Donald Trump and to win the era for the values that we share. And that was always a goal that was much bigger than me becoming president. And it is in the name of that very same goal that I'm delighted to endorse and support Joe Biden for president.
So there you go, and I think this is a big help to Joe Biden. Here's why.
He is so well-spoken.
So more important, JD, than the endorsement is the fact that I personally believe those who support Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar will not support Bernie Sanders, right? Because why? I'll tell you why. Because Buttigieg and Klobuchar are more moderates. They're in the middle.
Of course.
And Joe Biden is more of a moderate than Bernie Sanders is. That's why.
And Klobuchar and Buttigieg are relatively young for for politics, and they don't want to scud missile their career by supporting a socialist like Bernie Sanders. And Joe Biden is actually very smart by not mudslinging and attacking Buttigieg and attacking
He
Klobuchar.
never did. He went after Sanders.
And doing that,
he went after Bloomberg.
Doing that is very smart politically because then where else are they going to go? And obviously they don't have the money, they don't have the experience, they don't have the background to make it any further in this race. So who else are they going to endorse?
Well, listen,
so that was a very tactful move by him, not choosing not to mudsling kind of the smaller men and women in the race like Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar.
Listen, I have no doubt that, and Joe Biden said this himself, that Buttigieg has a wonderful career ahead of him.
No, he definitely does.
A great future in politics. Really smart, eloquent guy. I don't know who Joe Biden's going to pick as his vice president. I don't think it's going to be Amy Klobuchar. I don't think it's going to be Pete Buttigieg. It could be a Kamala Harris. It could be a minority. I don't know. But there's no question that Buttigieg helped himself.
I'll tell you, man, it could be, and we've had him on the show. It could be John Kasich.
Okay,
I could actually see that taking place with how over the top left Bernie Sanders is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
And trying to kind of get part of that Republican vote, I could see him doing a cross-party.
It's possible.
Ticket.
But here's what I do know, and that is Pete Buttigieg helped himself a great deal the last several months. He showed the world what he's capable of. He's a really smart guy, capable guy. And like I said, he's got a great future in politics. Amy Klobuchar, now we know who she is. I'll be honest with you. I had no idea who she was a year ago. I certainly know who she is now. Not a big supporter of hers. I'm just not. Not a big supporter of the way she eats salad with a comb either. But Pete Buttigieg, good dude and great future. And it is my personal opinion now. And I thought it was actually my opinion when this race started. And then I saw Biden in his first debate, and I said, oh, boy, he might be in a lot of trouble. But I'm going to go back to my roots and what I said earlier. And that is, I think it will be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is the front runner, even though the polls suggest that Bernie Sanders is leading. I don't think he's going to be the candidate. I just don't. I think it's going to be Joe Biden. I think who they both pick as their vice president could make a big difference, but we'll have to wait and see how this goes. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, It is horrible what the Kobe Bryant family is having to go through even now. And believe it or not, it doesn't have anything to do with having to bury their loved ones. It has to do with something that the LAPD did that is way over the top and unprofessional. We'll explain exactly what that is coming up next. You're listening to The Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.